Hey everyone. All right, so in today's vlog, we're going to talk about how to find meaning in your suffering. Suffering sucks. Suffering is a pain in the ass. Suffering is actually how I feel like 90% of the population defines themselves. People don't define themselves in how well they do. People usually will define themselves through their suffering. So, keeping that in mind, let's talk about like God, the supreme consciousness, this unity consciousness. We are here, let's call that the soul. Okay, unity consciousness is the soul. We have a spirit which is connected. It's got roots, we have roots. The spirit that's in us, in our heart chakra, has roots and connects to the soul, to unity consciousness. Let's just say that for a second. Visualize that. What you need to know is the system that unity consciousness, the divine, designed was for us to suffer. We are required to suffer here on earth in order to find our purpose. And the purpose only will come from self-inquiry. The problem is, even when people are searching for themselves, like, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? That's a great question to ask, but people want to find their purpose by attaching themselves either to a profession or to what actions they can take out in society to help others, which is great. That's really great. But before you help others, your purpose will actually come from self-inquiry of your spirit. This spirit in our heart chakra, the soft spot, actually, when you want to manifest and you want to kind of connect with your higher self, the best way to do it is visualizing right between your shoulder blades. It's called the plat, and I visualize it as a chakra. Visualizing that, and I'll see like little loving tentacles going up to the soul, which is unity consciousness, and connecting to unity consciousness. So your spirit gets charged when you do this. And this is just a side quick like pro tip of how to really do that deep self-inquiry of who you are, which is usually the traits. The answers are all within. Your spirit holds all your answers, all of them, but nobody wants to access the spirit. They just want to go out and like look for it. No, you got to sit still and you got to be simple. You got to simplify shit and you look for it through self-inquiry by speaking to your higher self, which is the spirit who is connected to unity consciousness, which is the soul. I digressed, sorry. So why do we suffer? Okay, and how do we find meaning in our suffering? So now that we know suffering is designed to happen, we are meant to have an unconscious mind, a subconscious mind, and a conscious mind. We are meant to have those three. That was specifically designed by unity consciousness so that we can evolve, your spirit can evolve, because this body and mind are going to be done. The mind and body are only a gateway for your spirit to grow. And the growth that occurs within spirit is if you think of a ladder, if we are finished and we learn our lessons here on earth, which is the third dimension, your spirit is itching not to come back to earth, but get into the fourth dimension and evolve even more. So once you have this understanding, you are going to learn how to detach yourself from the suffering. All everything that I've told you in this vlog so far are little seeds of information. If you take them, that will help you grow. It will help your spirit grow, because your suffering is not you. Don't define yourself from your suffering. So many people do that. Define yourself from that truth that is in your spirit. Define yourself from purity, not from gross, gray, mushy, dark, ugly suffering, which is low vibration. Divine definition of self is from clarity, from purity, from connection, you know? So let's separate this mushiness. Let's get it away from ourselves and bring in, oh, as I say that, there's a flock of birds. Can you guys see maybe? I can't switch it, sorry. There's like a flock of birds going by. So how do you detach yourself from your suffering? How do you distance yourself? Detaching, if that's too strong of a word, distance yourself from your suffering, just like you have distanced yourself from people that don't resonate with you. So that is the first step. You want to physically, like when you feel the suffering coming on, it's a trigger, it's an emotion, recognize it and be like, no, you're dark, mushy, and gross. Give it a color, and you can just like pop on by. And when I did my journey, I literally would visualize, I would have an image, and I would pop it off. I would pop it out of me, and I'd be like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Later. Literally, I would create these images in my mind to release the suffering, or at least distance it from myself. And sometimes I had to do this like 50 times a day, but at least I was catching it. I was giving it a color. I was giving it an energy, and I was like, see you later, don't fucking come back, okay? And eventually over time, the more I dealt with it, the more I saw it, just, it didn't come back as much. Because I didn't hold that, I didn't resonate with that anymore. My vibration was higher. So first, like even if you have to fake it, pop it off, let it go, okay? Secondly, what you can start doing is once the suffering, in step 2, you're gonna find that the suffering actually decreases. The same pain you felt to whatever caused you that trigger, that suffering, it decreases a little bit. And it gives you, like you can actually, you feel like you're dealing with it. You can breathe. It doesn't give you anxiety anymore. Now, when you're in this stage, and you recognize, okay, it's not affecting me. It's not affecting me anymore. It's kind of important, like when the suffering hits you again, and it gives you that little bit of anxiety, or it's really important once you're comfortable with this, okay, to go deeper into your suffering. And you want to go deeper into this trigger, this pain point, because you want to understand like where it came from. And that is called an imprint. That's an imprint in your unconscious mind. So what you're doing is you're accessing the unconscious mind, and you're giving it no more power, because now you realize, okay, this trigger started, usually it's from the age under 7, at exactly this instinct, and you'll feel it. Like you will see that picture in your mind when you're ready for it. You have to be ready for it. So that's why I gave you step 1 to just let it go, because you're usually not ready. But in step 2, when you're ready for it, go in. And then once you go in and you see that slide playing, you see that like, whoa, this is where the suffering came from. Okay, then what I want you to do is re-imprint it. In your unconscious mind, what you're gonna do is, so for an example, if your imprint is, let's say you had an abusive like uncle or abusive aunt or something like that, and as a kid you're running from them, you've done something, you're scared, and you're just like trying to get away from them, and they're behind you and they've caught you. What you're gonna do is you're gonna utilize your 5 senses. What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you see? What is going on in that imprint? Then what I want you to do is you're gonna turn it around and you're gonna use your intuition. So now you don't see this horrible thing happening anymore. What you actually see is the person letting you go, the person being loving and kind and saying, release all of this now. It's done. It's over. Go live your life. Go be happy. This is over. Then you carry this image of love and that moving forward, because those people that have hurt us and created these imprints, they also at that moment feel, if you're feeling fear, these people, if they were angry people and abusive, they were also at one point abused and feeling fear. And even when they're abusing someone because they can't control their anger, there is still a sense of fear. So re-imprint yourself and re-imprint it with who they really are, their own spirit. And they're just saying, okay, let it go now. You're good, you're free, it's okay. Re-imprint yourself with that. So I was actually going to get into the tarot, into the law of one with this, but I just took too long. So next time when I talk about how to find meaning in your suffering, we're going to also, I want to look at, this is the Magician card. This is consciousness. In my mind's eye, it's consciousness. This is the High Priestess. This is your unconscious mind. Look at her veil. Holds everything that you need to get over to release the suffering in order to find, so in order to open the door to the Empress card of who you really are. Self-inquiry starts with her. But we will dive into that in another vlog. I love you guys so much. Have a great day. Bye.